Don Lemon, Candace Owens.
First and foremost, I don't know why this always happens when people are trying to get me, but they always try to get me by showing me a clip of myself as if I'm going to be startled by what I said. I mean, it's like, I know, guys, I know I said it because it was me that said it. And so Don Lemon did this. He showed this old clip of me talking about how we have allowed the English language to be maneuvered by perverts. And I was speaking about the word faggot, meaning a bundle of sticks, because that is what it meant when I was reading Virginia Woolf. And then suddenly a button got pressed and they said, no, now people are using it to talk about homosexuals and you can no longer say that. And I said that we should not do that. We should not allow perverts dictate language. And then bizarrely, Don Lemon then tried to ask me if I wanted to call him the F word. Take a listen.
So the word you said was right?
Yeah.
Is that exactly the word? So what did you mean by that? You think it's okay to say the word, to call people a to their face?
No, actually, I said words have meaning. And so when you start allowing the perverts to dictate speech, then words just have to go away. And as I said in that clip, when I was growing up and I was reading English novels, when people say you're walking through the woods to get a faggot, it meant a bundle of sticks. And then they said you can no longer say this word that has a real meaning, right? A bundle of sticks, because some pervert took that and threw it as an epithet towards gay people. I think that's actually, that's a wrong way of thinking, because then what you're doing is you're allowing perverts to dictate society. So I don't like the death of the English language because people are getting offended. So that's like, I could pick any word. I could say, plant. And from now on, every time I see a gay guy, I'm going to be like, he's a total plant. And then eventually they say you can't say plant anymore. It's like, no. This is a real word that has meaning. Attack the person who's perverting the word, but you don't suddenly disappear a word and you say you can no longer say it, or you can no longer read these Virginia Woolf novels because the word has been perverted. I think that's a backwards way of thinking.
You read Virginia Woolf novels. And the only people I know who are trying to ban books, Virginia Woolf, and other books that even say the N-word, I mean, it's conservatives. That's who's trying to do it. I don't think that you should be banning books. But I do know, Candace, that language evolves over time. And when people say that word to me, they're not calling me a cigarette.
Obviously, that's the point. It has a context. So if you want to punish that person because they're saying that offensively, that, if you feel that this person, but it's not fair to then say to everybody else who's not using that word, this word has now been banned. I just think that's ridiculous, Yeah. That's my point. Yeah. I don't think that you can suddenly say go backwards and delete words that had real meaning because someone has perverted it, because it never stops. It just becomes constantly having to update the language for people's feelings. I don't think that we should be doing that.
So you would never call me a to my face, right?
Well, why would I just randomly call you a
have you
ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on? Have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on?
No, I like Louis C.K., but I don't think I've ever seen a skit on that. Yeah. No, but you would never call like a gay person that to their face.
That seems like an absurd, like what? No, Court, I'm not just going around. I'm a 35-year-old mother. I don't go around being like, hey, you're a that's just like, I'm not 18 years old. Like, I'm not going around calling people names, period. I wouldn't go up to a fat person and call them names. It's just like it's an absurd thing to be going around pointing and calling people names because I don't like them. No. So the answer is no, I would not.
Do you use the N-word?
No, I don't.
Oh. Can we talk about it? Let's talk about it. Now, I understand this is going to be highly controversial, so we're going to hit you with a disclaimer now. If you're super sensitive, don't ever watch the video. If your name is Sally, and you're sensitive like Sally Sue, you shouldn't be in the video too, right? If you're part of some type of hatred group, that's not what we're spreading here. This is a very informative and educational platform where we learn from just simply having a discussion. So can we talk about it? Let's discuss. Now, I agree with Candace. I always have, and I probably always will. This is why. Let me break it down to you on why. I believe that if you talk about this community, right, you don't have a freedom of speech. But yet, they do. Smash that like button if you agree. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the beginning. This is not the end. Right? I also believe that they infiltrated the schools. That's why I crossed that out. The schools and the churches. They have infiltrated the schools and the churches, right? Now they're programming your kids on how to think, rather than allowing them to creatively think and creatively be kids. Let kids be kids. Leave the kids them. That's another problem that I have with that community. So they can say something, you can't. You can say nothing. Silencio. They can be in your schools, their methods, their theories, right? Their way of doing things, their programs could be in the schools, right? They're in your kids' books and all of that, right? They're telling them about, hey, you can identify as this and you can identify as that. What are you telling an undeveloped brain that what to make a lifetime decision? Does that make sense to y'all? Because it frustrates me. How could you allow a minor to make an adult decision or something permanent that affects them for all of their lives? Y'all don't find something wrong with that? Ha ha. Well, I do. That's why we talking about it. Because in the world, it seems like you can't talk about nothing without getting prosecuted or censored. But hey, someone have to take the stand. You got to get up, stand up, like Bob Marley said. Stand up for your rights. How else is the world going to change? You have to. If you're just a person that agree with everything in the room without questioning the why, I have a question for you. You have a big question mark over your head. That's all I see. If you don't ask why and how and all these questions that make a life evolve, then something's wrong with you, right? Another thing, let's stay on topic. Like Candace said, the word mean what it meant, and they took that word and decided to say, you know what, we identify with this word now. This is our word. So whoever said what it meant prior to when we established the word for what it meant, then guess what? We set laws. How is that even just? Another thing that I don't like about it is this as well. Population control. It's another form of population control. We know man and man can't make nothing. We know woman and woman can't make a thing. But a man and a woman can. A woman and a man can. You get it? Population, right? Another thing, church, where I say shit, I praise the forces or the universe, however you look at this world that we living in, right? I think it's way outside of these churches. This is why, and this is how I know this to be true. Church is a business, right? They do things for what? As monies. Let me repeat, as monies, or to program your ways, right? And most of your life decisions comes from churches or schools, which is then passed down from your parents. So if you can control and or change your schooling system and or the churches, then maybe you can hop into your purpose, right? That's the point, right? Because everything else seems to me to be deemed a distraction, right? If you're not doing nothing purposeful on this earth, you're not making it better than when you came and when you're gonna leave, right? Then what's the point? You're out of purpose. Right? We all are collective conglomerate leads to one. Therefore, you have to add on to that one. Make it better for someone else. You get it? That's the whole point of this journey. My reality. That's my reality. I'm not going to push my reality upon you. We have the ability. It's called a choice, right? You choose, right? So that's another thing that I have. With these churches, it's infiltrated because guess what? All you see is what? Rainbows. Rainbows were supposed to be represented as another symbol until one community decided to say, you know what? That no longer represents this. We want it to represent that. So I agree with what Candace was saying. Once again, they're literally hijacking things, right? They basically, and this probably get clipped for this, but they basically are worse off than the narrative, the Taliban who hijacked and hijacked 9/11, the plane, and flew into the tower when the tower looked like a controlled fall, like demolition. And then if you did your research and do your studies, right? And this is available online. All you have to do is literally read. I read to get my information. Then I cross-examine and I see what's what. All you got to do is read. It states that it was a controlled blast, right? It was basically insurance fraud. It was a controlled blast. Wasn't no Talibans on that plane. That was remote controlled. But yet you want to blame a group so you can go to what? War. You get it? Y'all get the move? It's the proxy war. It's like, if this, then that. You create your problems, and then you create your solutions right there. That's called a mastermind. I'm just saying, like, it's right in front of your face. So if you knew and you read the classified documents, you will know that that was a stage play, another Shakespearean play. Keep telling y'all, it's right in front of y'all. But that's a whole nother conversation. So once again, what's your thoughts on this community, and how does this community affect you? How does it affect your kids, and does it affect your kids in the right manner, right? Or does it manipulate, or does it have a manipulative vibe? Leave your thoughts down below. I really want to know what you thought about this one. I thought Candace did an awesome job on stating her opinion, and I think Don Lemon, we all know CNN can't be trusted, but I guess you can't take the CNN out of Don Lemon. You know what I'm saying? You could take it. He can not work at CNN, but you can't take the CNN out of Don Lemon. We all know that ever since this yo jabba jabba shot, right? Ever since that, the media has been going downhill because the integrity. Once you lie to somebody and they catch you on the lie, they no longer look at you as the truth teller. That's just common sense. So that's currently what's going on. And like I say, anytime you talk about this community, you feel like you're being censored. You can't talk about feminism. You can't talk about gender equality. All those things stem from this. And I believe that, like Candace said, it is a sin. If you're reading the Bible, right, and most people get their principles from the Bible, right, and they directly tell you about these things, and then the same Bible that told you about these things, which are the churches who promote, the schools that promote this program, right, the school tell you that don't do it, but yet but they're being sponsored, or they're supporting the groups that's committing these acts, which is considered a sin. So it would mean the church has been manipulated as well. All churches has been manipulated as well. Most of them, if you walk a Catholic church, the Christian church, they've been manipulated as well, because all you see is rainbow colors that represents what? It doesn't represent what it used to represent anymore, because it's been hijacked. Even if you have a loyal church, or a church that have practiced integrity and all these things, right? It doesn't look good from the outside perspective, because that's already been hijacked. So it's like, who gave them the right to do that? I believe that the long-term effect I believe it's a virus. It could be cancerous, because it contaminates one mind, and especially the youthful mind at that. And if you control the youth's mind, you can control the future. So I see why they have a like targeted audience are kids. Literally, schools, churches, those are the epicenters or the doctrine centers that's used to program you. So they even hijack the program. That's just my opinion. And I'm going to stand behind my opinion. And like I say, I agree with Candace on this one. Smash that like button. Tell a friend and tell a friend. This is the beginning. This is not the end. Let me know the side effects of that community, and how you feel about the community, and how you feel about the identification crisis, and how you feel about the kids, them giving kids the right to call authority on the parents if they decide that they want to make an uninformed decision that can affect them for the rest of their life. And you as a parents, how do y'all feel about this one? Right? Do y'all feel like y'all have no control over your legacy, over your future in this modern day world? I really want to know your thoughts about this one. Once again, this is just a healthy discussion. This is not a hatred group. We're not attacking one group. We're just voicing our opinion. We don't want anything to be suppressed, right? Because that's, to me, another side effect of this group. They suppress what you can say and what you can do, right? Just as much as the bathroom situation. If a trans man is walking inside the bathroom and you have a beautiful daughter, as a man, As a parent, wouldn't you want to guide and protect your kids? You don't want them to be in harm. So why would you put them in the same room as those people? Those people belong on their own. Kids belong as kids. They need to be kids. So I feel like that's a threatening mechanism right there. Can we talk about it? I just want to talk about it. Another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show. Boom. And remember, peace and blessings. Love conquers all.